because I don't think it's okay for people to stay together. They're like, oh, you have a successful marriage because you've been married for 50 years, but you hated each other for 40 of the 50. Then, yeah, one of the other things that we ran into with communication that we really had to fix was interpretation. If I say this, like, we had to do reflective listening. We had to say, okay, I just said something that I didn't feel was offensive, but I could tell by your body language that it was. Can you please tell me what it was that you heard me say? Through the different transitions that you guys talked about, changing careers or having kids or retiring, and love languages changing and growing and developing and evolving, how do you make those adjustments and still grow together?
5 years ago was different then. And who you are 5 years from now will be different.
That's true.
If I have to put on a bra, then it's not a good Mother's Day. I don't want to go.
That's what you said to me.
I don't want to go. All right, we are so blessed to have pillars of love, strength, and wisdom joining us today. They bring nearly 45 years of marriage experience. They are marriage mentors to many. They are authors, and they are here with us. Please give a big One Vision Village welcome to Russell and Joni Waller. Thank you so much for being here. Look, and I want to jump on in because I'm ready for these nuggets.
Welcome to Relationship Talk with the Geths. Join Ed and Maya, a dynamic husband and wife duo, as they share real and honest advice on love, dating, and marriage. As transformational relationship coaches, they specialize in helping both singles and couples enhance communication, build intimacy, and experience greater pleasure in their relationships. They also offer online courses tailored for singles and married couples and are fully licensed to officiate weddings. Now, let's dive into today's session.
Okay.
So look, looking back over...
We'll give you a few crumbs.
Looking back over nearly 45 years of marriage, almost 45, yeah. What's one principle or habit that's kept you grounded through every season? Like, if you can think of one thing that's kept you grounded through every season, what would you say that is?
I know Joni would say laughter. And it's funny because I'm kind of like serious. You probably look at my face. I'm like serious, and Joni is always trying to get something to laugh about. And I'm like,
a lot.
And so that's it.
I was going to say faith, but what he is telling you the truth, because I called him the other day, right after Maya had sent me the text about this, and I called him to tell him about it. And for some reason, his phone got crossed to somebody else he was talking to, so he didn't recognize my voice. So he thought it was a man. So I just kept on going with it about somebody he thought his lawn he was going to do. And he said,
really threw me off. It really
where do you live?
Funny.
And I went and give him the address. I said Twin Hills, because that's the town, the part we live in. And he was like, well, where? And I was like, well, in Willingboro. And he's like, well, have I done your lawn? I said, you do it all the time.
She was telling the truth, because I do cut my own lawn. and I was so thrown back about it. I couldn't. And I'm looking at my cell phone, and the person I was talking to's number was on the screen, which it can't be. But she had come in behind the call. I had hung the call up, but she came in behind, and I just never picked it up. Then finally she calls me back, maybe just kind of quickly, and I figured, I said, oh, Joni, you just talked to me. And that's, then she couldn't help from laughing.
I was trying to keep a straight face in the phone.
That is beautiful. After all these years, y'all still play jokes.
Got to play.
Pranks.
Well, I do. He does. He's serious.
That is beautiful. So look, I got a quick 2-part question.
Okay.
How did you guys navigate the first 3 years, the early years or so? And if you had to do it over, what would you do differently if you had to do it over? Or nothing at all?
Okay, that's a good one.
You got that one, David. That's
so
a good one.
You just jumped right into the pot.
Okay.
The pot. Our son said yesterday, be transparent. So we're gonna be real transparent.
Please.
Because he said he's a 10-year marriage. So he says He said, Mom and Dad, you got to give them real stuff. He said, we need this as young couples. We need the real stuff, not that glossy stuff. That's what he said.
So we met in college, and young love. We decided we were going to get married. I'm from New Jersey. He's from Virginia, and we just thought we were young love. We could make this work.
Which college?
Virginia State.
Okay.
We were HBCUs.
HBCU.
Okay.
So we got married and moved out. So first of all, I was 10 and he was 11 when we got married. That's the first thing. So we were young at this, 21 and 22.
But we had all the answers.
We had,
of course.
Parents wanted to say, stop, you don't know what you're doing yet, but we went ahead. And so the first, we lived in Fredericksburg, so 5 hours away from my family and 5 hours away from his. We didn't have any family, and community was different because we were younger. And we'll talk about that if you ever, want to ask us about that. But we lived in Fredericksburg, and I got lonely and homesick because I was used to being around my family, and he was just going on, doing his thing. With the work, I was working and everything, but it was really difficult for me those first 4 years because I wanted to come home. Because when when I would call home, my family's very close knit. His family's very close knit, so I would call home and I could hear my family in the background laughing and joking, aunts and cousins, and so I got homesick, and he would say, well, let's go home when we can, because we didn't have a whole lot of money to go back and forth all the time. So it was really very difficult navigating those first 4 years, and that's how we ended up in New Jersey, because I got to the point where I couldn't stay in Virginia any longer.
Okay.
Here, and he decided he would.
I would try it.
He would try, but the reason he would try it was because, being very transparent, I had decided after that fourth year, I couldn't do it. I couldn't take it anymore. So I came on back to Jersey for, school break, and stayed home for maybe about a week or two. My dad said, "Are you going back to Virginia? When?" No, he didn't say, "Are you?" He said, "When are you going back?" And I said, "I'm not going back." And he said, "You're not?" And so he told my mom. Thank the Lord for praying mothers. My mother got on the phone and talked to his mother.
We didn't realize they were doing
that. We didn't know that,
Wow, on your behalf. Okay.
Yeah, so we've always had a strong family unit that kept us together as well on both sides.
I love that.
That's beautiful.
And so the two mothers got together. And matter of fact, his mother called him, and you tell that part.
Mom called and she said she would always, like mothers will do, always ask about Joni. That would almost be the next question if I called her. She said, "Oh, how's Joni?" And so I said, "Oh, she's fine." I said, "She's visiting her parents. She's up in Jersey. I was in Fredericksburg, and I was just as happy as a lark, no problem, because I just knew she was coming back. And so then she said, she kind of talked around things a little bit, and I still wasn't paying a lot of attention to it. And then she said, she said, "When is Joni coming back?" So I said, "I'm not really sure right now. She's spending a few days with the parents because, we own school. That's one thing about teachers. You get that break off those 8 weeks in the summer. So we look forward to that." And so the breaks, started. Joni took off and went to see her parents. And so then she stayed 1 week, and she stayed, but it didn't click. I wasn't realizing she was going to stay. And so finally, mommy, she kind of just softly said, "Maybe you should go and get your wife like that." And I'm like, "What do you, I'm thinking, like, what are you talking about?" And see, they had heard the parents, because she's coming back. And so then I the next couple of days, I thought about it. I got the car ready and drove on up, and when I got up there, she was telling me she wasn't coming back, So I had to do a little coaching to get her parents and the
It's
prayers
promising,
and
yes.
promising, and so that's how we managed to get back to Jersey, because I said, well, if I'll I will go to Jersey if we can get jobs comparable to what we were doing in Fredericksburg, because we both were educators. We were both teaching in Fredericksburg, in that vicinity. I was in Spotsylvania County, in Stafford County, Virginia, which is right out, from it. And then Joni was in Stafford also. And so we came up here and we looked around a little bit for, a week or two later, and the jobs were kind of thin as far as educators, but we were able to find, I worked at RCA because of my experience in with the electrical and doing the industrial arts. And so I worked on the circuit boards. And so then Joni did banking, which was kind of new to her, but it was great, so that's how we managed to get here, and we've been here ever since.
But back to your original question, I really believe that, our faith, because that was the one thing that when we were in school kind of brought us together, our faith and our values kept us strong.
Mhm.
And both of our mothers have gone on, but the one thing I have to say is that we were blessed to have mother-in-laws who loved us. And yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
They didn't take sides
That's
so much.
Mhm.
And my mother would say, if I was frustrated or something, like I had the kids, and she'd say, "When are you going home? It's time for you to go." And to go home. And then my mother-in-law would say I could call her and say anything, this is going on, or something is, with Russell, and she'd say, "Well, where is he?" My mom didn't take my side, and Russell's mom didn't take his side.
That's a
So,
wonderful
it
blessing.
is.
So you didn't have
So
someone
that's-
pulling.
So I have
Yes.
a question about, is that the same decision that you would make, not moving back, but would you still choose to do those first 3 years away? Do you feel like you were able to cleave better because you were away from your family during those early years?
It's interesting that you would say that. Our son kind of mirrored us, he and his family now, his young family. And it's kind of a toss up for me. It worked. We were blessed because of our faith and because of our parents praying for us, those praying mothers. But the thing is, we were talking to him just last night about that. If you have the opportunity to be more communal in your first years, as far as with your family, I think that's really a big help. But then it can backfire. It can be too much into your business or too much into your growth. But I really think I probably would I don't know. I was following the job. That's what I really was doing. That's what I was really doing.
And I think back to your question, from my standpoint, I would marry him all over again. But I feel like we weren't as prepared in terms of knowing who we were coming right out of school. Because just like Russell said, you come out of community, so you still haven't learned who you are yet. You go into school and you have aspirations about what you're going to do when you finish school. And so I think we were not on the same page as what we wanted to do when we came out of school. And getting married as quickly as we should. My dad even said, if you wait a year, I'll give you a car. And we look back now, we were like, how stupid were we? We should have waited a year. We could have had a brand new car.
He said he would get Joni a brand new, because
But the
Joni
thing about
is an only child.
I'm an only child. But the thing about it is, back to I wanted to go to New York, and I didn't even want to be a teacher. I just wanted to go to New York and be like that girl and throw my hat up in the air.
Right.
And he wanted to. I don't know exactly what he wanted to do, but I think if we had had that maturing and growing time, we still would have come back together.
Yeah, that's what I say. I was kind of I was more settled, I think, than Joni. Not that I was more mature, nothing like that. I was just more, my spirit is more settled.
Right.
And I wanted to be able to, like, the simple things. I wanted, when we had children, we didn't have children for 5 years, and we were married in 81. We didn't have children for 5 years. Joni wanted children right from the start. We didn't have children. I kind of wanted to develop a little bit, just like even a home. I wanted to have a home for our children to be raised in. You know, just a starter home, those things. So I was kind of projecting ahead, and I think I was kind of like not communicating that to Joni now that we look back at it. And it created big problems because we built a new home in Fredericksburg, and we stayed in that home 7 months, and we came back to Fredericksburg, back to Jersey. And it really created a ripple, because, when we came here, we owned a home. We came here and rented a home, and that really kind of hurt me,
Yeah.
And so it made it kind of rough for a while.
And I really appreciate you guys sharing these stories because I feel like a lot of couples look at social media and they see the highlight reels that people post of their relationships, and then they feel less than because they're comparing themselves to what people are posting.
Yes.
And they don't get the real, so they feel like if I'm struggling in this marriage, I'm probably struggling alone because everybody that I see, they're happy. And that's just not the case. So when we share things like this, then they see, okay, marriage can be difficult because you have two imperfect people who are different coming together, becoming one, all while the enemy is trying to attack and derail what God has planned for you. And so that's going to come with some challenges. And so I love for people to know that, yes, there can be challenges, and with God's help, you can navigate through those things. And so I definitely appreciate you sharing those things.
Yes. Thank you.
Listen, if you start a fire and you don't tend to it, the fire will eventually fizzle out. The same thing happens in marriage.
Yes, yes, definitely.
You may be on fire for each other in the beginning, but after time sets in and life gets to lifing, it takes some effort to keep things hot. So what are some intentional things you've done to keep the emotional and physical intimacy strong over the years?
Well, I'll go first on that one.
Come on.
Yeah, that's what I like to say too. Come on.
Because she's a good coach for me on that.
Okay.
You get so, like you say, life is working and trying to provide for your family. That you feel like as the breadwinner of your family, we use that now is both breadwinners. It's not a breadwinner, it's winners.
I like it.
That you're just doing a plenty. Okay, you're doing enough. But the thing is, you have to balance that enough. Because even though your spouse realizes that you are providing for them, and you're protecting them and taking care of them, they still need that pat on the back. They need that nurturing, that time. You got to divide that time, and that's where it really gets to be hard. You're physically tired as well as mentally tired, and because you're trying to do. A lot of times you're trying to do two things. You might be taking classes, which is a job. You're working full time, or you may be working two jobs. You may be working your full time job and doing a side hustle, like I did for most of my career. I've done that. So you got to divide that time and still spend time with your wife, giving her that special attention. And that was something I was really bad about because I felt like, what are you complaining about? I'm doing things. I'm keeping my stuff, keeping the bills, keeping the lights on and stuff. But that's not all of it by a long shot. And we suffered from that. We had things, but then you suffered.
We have some friends, and Lisa, they've been married about what, 30? No, in their 20s, probably like you guys. And she always says, my husband has to date me. And I'm like, that's very true. And so, you forget about like that, like Russell said, in the whole hum things. And sometimes, I guess he would think, well, cost money. Well, all dates don't cost money. a date night in the house doesn't cost money. We just put on some music and make some dinner, or something like that. Now I do want you to take me out and have dinner, but there are things that we can do at home. You just have to be creative to keep it going. And everything starts outside of that room. So you have to keep it
that fire
interesting. You have to keep yourself interested in each other.
I agree with that. We actually have a free resource on our website where people can download date night activities in all budgets.
Okay.
So we have free activities just to give ideas, things that'll cost $0 to $20 and $20 to $50 and on up, just so that people can get ideas. Because they don't think about it. It's like you don't even think about this as an option. But it's something that you can do and you can have fun actually.
Even taking a walk, like go find a park near you.
Yeah. And you just innocently do that, and you do it each week, and that's life. As Ed said, the life that you live in life. You just every week you just keep piling up, and I'm gonna go next week. When you know anything, you've gone you can go a year quickly and not really go out or not do anything special.
Right.
And like Joni would always tell me, even like when we were invited to things, that's really not so special. That's really not a date. And I'm looking at like, what are you talking about? That was an obligation. And see, we as men, we take that as a date. We said that's a date. I took you out.
We do.
And so then you get like my son was saying. Now my son is better about it than myself, but he will take the time. And I look at him sometimes, and he'll go out. I'm like, well, you all have the kids, and then he'll get the babysitter, and the ladies, they really thrive and they love that because we don't really do a lot of planning. We don't do a lot of planning. I'm real bad at planning. I'll go with you, but I'm not gonna do a lot of planning.
I'm with you, Russell, on that one. I'm with you, Russell.
So that's where we get in trouble. But see, you don't know those things. You don't know those things.
We didn't know, and it's funny you said that. Like I the obligation thing. Like one time I got invited because I played at University of North Carolina and we won a national championship.
Okay.
And so every so many years they have like a reunion, a 10-year reunion, 20-year, big reunion. And so I'm like, oh, this is gonna be big. We get dressed up, they're gonna feed us, they're gonna da. And I'm thinking she's gonna love it. So I'm getting best of both worlds. I get to go hang with my boys. I take her. She gets to dress up, get some free food and this festivities. And I was like, did you enjoy the event? She said, you didn't plan this. This wasn't intentional. And so I had to learn. So I started setting things in my phone. Be more intentional about what's special for her. That was special for me. And it was an obligation to her to show, even though it was nice. She looked good. You look good too. She was beautiful.
I even like goal setting dates where if you aren't where you want to be, like it's important to communicate about the things that you want. And so vision boards are cool, but it's even better if you can get out and you say like, okay, let's go ride and look at houses in the neighborhood where we would like to live, or let's go to a car lot and look at cars that we want and talk about, a road to get there. It would be fun. And like, let's take turns choosing songs to play on the radio. Just to introduce each other to the type of music that we like. And that could be and then you pick up something to eat. It doesn't have to be, some steakhouse. You just eat along the way, and that could be a date. You can enjoy. It's about enjoying each other's company.
And you said something which really made me think about communication, because that was a lot of where I had a hindrance when we first got married. I wouldn't tell him what was on my mind or what I wanted. Like Maya was saying, simple as like one time he was in the car and we were driving and I saw an ice cream truck. We were in Richmond and I said, oh, there's an ice cream truck. And I'm thinking he's going to read my mind and say, oh, do you want some ice cream?
He like, oh.
He kept on driving.
Oh, yeah, that is an ice cream truck.
Oh yeah.
But exactly, that's what he was doing. But what I should have said, I would like some ice cream. Would you stop and get some? And so then I'm pouting because I'm thinking he's supposed to be able to read my
Read my
mind. Well, no,
mind.
he can't read my mind. He can't read mine. I can't read his. But I did want to say this also in terms of dating. I think with what I've kind of come up with now is that that's not really his forte. So I'm going to have to plan what I want us to do. And, and hopefully maybe
so
he'll
will I.
come along. Like yesterday, he said, do I want to go out for breakfast? I'm like, I'm going to jump on this one. Since he said, yeah.
Yes. And I'm the same way. That's something I had to learn though, because I thought that I like the way it feels when a guy is romantic and he plans these things and he pays attention to the things you say you want and he shows up with them. And that's all well and good, but that's not who I married. He comes with so many wonderful things and he has some shortcomings, and that's one of them. So what I had to decide was, do I want to live the rest of my life without the things that I want? And pout, all because I'm unwilling to take some of the razzle dazzle off and just tell him what it is that I want.
Okay.
Because one of the things I love most about him, if I tell him I want or need something, he does everything in his power to give it to me. If I want him to go somewhere, then he goes. He doesn't give me any like if I say, can you please go to this wedding or, events that guys don't generally like to go to, he doesn't give me any crap about it. He just comes. And all I had to do was ask. And so the question becomes, are you willing to go without what you need, all because you don't want to have to ask? And I arrived at the space where, I'm going to ask. And I advise other people to ask as well. If you don't have a partner, because it's not just men, if you don't have a partner who is in tune in a way where they just kind of know what it is that you want, then say what it is that you want.
That's true.
Which brings
I
up,
tell Joni that too sometimes.
Because I'm going to ask you something. I'm going to ask him something in front of you. Do I like it when you bring flowers home from me?
She doesn't really like flowers, and I was giving Joni flowers. I love flowers because I'm a farm kid, and I don't know. My mother loved flowers, so I just kind of pick up certain things from your as TD Jakes always talk about your roots or you pick up things that were in your that you grew up with. And my mother always grew flowers, and there was always flowers around the house. So I just assumed all ladies, there you go again, you make it out of yourself. I assumed that she would love flowers. And she, after several years, she told me finally one day, and it kind of hurt my heart. I really don't really care a lot for flowers. So now I still get them, but I don't really rush to get them like I would. Because I love the special times to have flowers, but see, I'm really getting it, like you said, with the sports banquet. You were getting it for you, and she was tagging along. I was getting the flowers really for me because I love the flowers, like on the dining room table, on the kitchen table, fresh flowers. I love those.
Like for special, seasons. Like Mother's Day or, holidays. He would bring flowers and just like I said, I wouldn't say anything, but after a while, I'm like, first of all, I have allergies. That's the first thing. That's the first thing. But flowers are nice, but I know flowers. He was getting the flowers for him. Now, if you wanted to, if I'm expressing something else that I like, then I'm hoping that you would take that in tune and say, well,
Now she liked the. Sorry for cutting across you. Go ahead.
That's all right.
She liked the items like the acts of kindness or service. She likes those.
Y'all are really in tune.
She liked those things better. Clean this bedroom up. Get rid of your clothes. Get your shoes that you know you're not wearing. Get this stuff out of here. Don't leave it in here. I'm like, but I might wear that.
That's a good Mother's Day gift for me.
She said for Mother's Day. I'm like, Mother's Day? No, I don't want to go to dinner. I want you to just tidy this up. Get this washroom straight. you know, and I hear it like it's like constantly, you know, and then I guess I think about it. I said, well, Russell, look like you must be a slow learner because you keep hearing this, you know. But there again, Ed knows too. It's life. Life is involved. And then she said, well, you just make an excuse. Well, it is an excuse too, but life is there. I have to do in order. I got to get the car fixed first. I want the car done. I want to have that up to date before I move my shoes, because I'm not going to be driving my shoes when I leave to go on vacation. I'm going to be driving the car, you know. So I'm only one person, you know, but it's still, it can be organized a lot better. And I know after 45 years nearly, I know better. But it's just still, you just have some things you constantly try to keep, you keep improving on. That's what it is.
I think for me, I'm acts of service. So, and you are more, what's the other one?
What was you touch?
Physical touch.
Touchy feely.
Yeah.
So we were both actually.
Yes.
He's words of affirmation, physical touch, and my number one was physical touch for so long, and then we had children,
Right.
and mine started to shift. I still appreciate a touch, but my number one is definitely acts of service because I'm
Acts of
tired.
service.
I need you to help me.
Yes.
And so, like for Mother's Day, anniversary, birthday,
Yes.
for the last several years.
Uh-huh.
Because our youngest is 3 years old. I know we have all this gray hair, but we kept having babies. So, what do I ask for? Every holiday, everything.
Story about that. In the early years, after we had the kids, I was trying to plan this big elaborate thing. I was calling her cousin, her sister, hey, help me plan this. And I think she got a hold of. She always is one step ahead of me. I was trying to surprise her, but she found out. She was like, "Hey, cancel all that. Find somewhere for these kids to go. Bring me some food. Make sure I don't have to lift a finger." And that'll be the best Mother's Day ever.
And that's what I want.
I said, "You ain't want to go nowhere?" She was like, "No, please. I just want some peace."
If I have to put on a bra, then it's not a good Mother's Day. I don't want to go.
That's what she said to me.
I don't want to go.
I mean, I had all these plans, Russell. I had 2 or 3 people I was trying to like organize this stuff with, and she was like, "Cancel all of it."
All of it.
Because I did that kind of with her 40th birthday. 50th birthday. I did it with her 50th birthday. I planned this thing and I went through with it, but I found out I would have been so much better off if I had just kind of asked her. And because she really wanted to have just a regular kind of just a regular party, but I made it all formal, and I had the minister came.
Church
I had it at one of the churches around, and she was like,
I want the party.
she wanted a party, and I was like, we're officers in the church, so I don't want a party. She said that's what I wanted, and so since then we've had opportunity to go to persons that had. She said, "This is what I wanted right here. This is what." That's okay. So I understand. I got you.
But one of the things I realize is that when you get married and you've been married a long time, you mature and grow and you change. You know what you liked 5 years ago is different than and who you are 5 years from now will be different.
That's true.
I'm gonna tell you something. This is the most encouraging thing about it, because you guys are sitting there telling me about things that are not perfect with you guys right now, and you're still working. That is the best thing. That is that you don't have to have it fixed by year 10 or fixed by year 20 or fixed by year 30. No, it's still.
We still a work in progress.
That's beautiful to know.
Very much so.
I'm glad of y'all's transparency. I'm glad you listened to your son to keep it real.
Yeah, he told me straight up. He said, because now it's kind of really neat. They're in their own home, so when we go, it's amazing. I can read their minds. I know how long to stay, because I can tell when stuff ain't going right. And they smile, and they might give dad. She called the daughter-in-law. I couldn't have a better daughter-in-law, but she will say, "Hi, Dad. I give you that, but I can tell it ain't. I can almost look at the house and tell it ain't going right." So when that happens, I say, "Okay, I just stopped by."
In the last 45 years, I'm sure you guys have had some disagreements, and I'm disagreements. I don't even want to say the word fights, but fights. So there's two part questions. How do you handle conflict right in the middle of it, and have your methods changed over the years? So when y'all first fought, like you said, them first 5 years, and now you fight now, how does the quarrel or disagreement or whatever the fancy word you want to use, how do y'all handle it differently?
Very good question. Very.
So for
good
me, the
question.
first 5 years,
Uh-huh.
I didn't say a lot. I didn't speak my mind, but I would go because I grew up in I'm not gonna let you see me cry when you upset me.
Ooh.
So I would go into the laundry room and boo-hoo and get myself back together.
Right.
And then come back and then just I would still be mad.
Right.
But I had to get it out somewhere,
Get it
because
out
I'm like, I'm
somewhere
not gonna
else.
let him see me cry,
Right.
because he doesn't deserve to
He
see
don't
these
deserve my
tears.
tears. Yep.
He doesn't. But you know what it was, Ed. It wasn't even that. It was I felt like tears didn't move him. So what was the point of letting him see how upset I was through tears? So we had to work it out. So in the first couple of years, I was quiet. And I think I was quiet because I grew up with my mom, and I can say this now because my parents aren't living, so they won't care.
They don't. Tell it.
But like Russell said, I'm an only child, so I grew up seeing my mother who was more docile and quiet,
Right.
and my dad had a stronger voice. So that's what I left seeing. And when I came back when we moved back up here, I saw a different mother. And so I saw a mother that was vocal. She spoke her mind when she didn't agree with things. And so I'm saying that to say that when part of this, the crying and going back by and not tears not moving him, I think I did not see the hump. So I didn't see the bridge where my mom was concerned. I didn't see how I left a quiet mom and came back and saw a mom that spoke out.
Right.
And so I didn't see how to maneuver to get to the other side of that.
I get it.
And when I think she and I were having a conversation one day, and I was talking to her about this, and she said to me, I said, I don't know how to maneuver through this. And she said to me, when you had enough, you'll change. So yeah. So working through that, and he and I having some blow up conversations. I have learned to use my voice. I think he was waiting for me to use my voice. And we have now I think I will use my voice, and sometimes I won't even use it. I'll just be like, Lord, you know what I want to say, but I'm not going to say it. So keep my mouth closed, because one thing about things is that you can't take words back.
Right.
And you can't, I don't ever want to say anything that's going to hurt him.
Gotcha.
So, and I know how powerful words are, because, we, in the Bible, it talks about that tongue. So, yeah.
How do you get there though? How do you grow to that point? How do you, through the different transitions that you guys talked about, changing careers or having kids or retiring, and love languages changing and growing and developing and evolving, how do you make those adjustments and still grow together?
It's a lot of just trying to communicate together on things and praying, and you change your ways of worship, and you change your growth pattern for worship. Initially you kind of just go to church because your parents told you to go to church, and then you, as a kid, you went to church. But now you start going to church, and you take a part in church, and you really start to read and study. And when you start reading and studying, the roadmap is right there before you, but you can take off, go off on the side where you want to go off, or you can go straight, or you can just stop. So I find that has helped us tremendously by staying close to the Lord and trying to grow closer to the Lord. But life, even if you're not careful, will try to get in the way of that because of so many different things you have that's going on. So you continue to try to grow more in the Lord yourself, just to grow. And I find out over the last few years, you have to work on your own self, not so much your wife. You have a tendency to point, well, she's doing that, and that's causing me to do this. No, it's not. She is you. You have to be right too. You have to be right. And as the scriptures say about having her to follow you, she can't follow you if you ain't going nowhere. So you have to be in a situation to be able to go somewhere. So she'll have somebody to follow. And if your attitude is always jacked up all the time, you it's very difficult. You gotta be firm, but you gotta be to a point soft too. Right. You gotta and like she said, my father was a farmer, and my mother was very supportive of my father. And as Joni said, that's the way I grew up. That's what I saw. Not so much the dad was dominant over my mother, but he was very firm in the things that he was going to do. And mommy knew, and then mommy, she more or less followed, a lot of what my father did, but then she was very outspoken too. And I bought that baggage or whatever, or that knowledge with us in our relationship. Some of it works real good because the time changes now. The time has changed tremendously. Right. The wives, in a lot of cases, make more money than the men do. So you can't come in talking about leadership and all that type of thing on every issue. Right. God has to set that we are the headship of the marriage, but still, she is right there. She's beside us. They are not like behind us. Right. And so you have to kind of keep those things in mind, I think, when you're making your decisions on things.
And the other thing is, I'm sorry.
She loves to laugh.
I can't help it. But men in leadership, and he is right. But biblically, it also says submit one to another.
One to another. I always leave that.
That's why I was laughing.
Skip that.
I skipped that part.
Some men just don't go to that part. Mm-hmm. It says submit one to another,
and that's how we get in trouble.
And that's it. Getting in trouble. But also just there's just times where I've had to say to myself, because I can go by myself and do stuff, and I have to I have to get away from that. Well, if you're not going to do it, then I can do it. That's a something that the Lord had to work with me on, because I can't make him do what I want him to do. So and actually this week God has been saying to me, you need to be still and let me, because you're in my way. Let me work some things out. Let me work, and let me work on you, and I'll be working on him.
Those are some of the same messages that I got from God, just about his plan for us and not being in the way. He specifically said to me that there are some things that I am going to speak directly to him, and I don't need you in the way. And you have to be patient and wait for it, which is uncomfortable for me. Because I'm like, come on with the word, Lord, so I can get this done. I like to check the boxes and get it done. But he's developing something different in him, and I cannot get in the way of that. And so that's encouraging to you.
That is very true. I had a friend that used to tell me to put my arms down. He's like, you're in God's way because you keep blocking him. And I think about that a lot. When I'm like, God, am I in your way? And if so, let me put my arms down. So.
Good.
That's good.
So, you guys are co-authors of a book, the book, Through the Fire, Stories of Strength, Courage, and Resilience. And I saw the chapter that you guys wrote called Can You Hear Me Now? Can you share some of those nuggets with us from that chapter?
You don't want to share?
I'll let you go.
So you guys kind of know our story in the very beginning. So that's what we kind of shared.
Okay.
That is really where that "Can You Hear Me Now" came from. Basically, that ice cream story, because I wasn't
Oh, wow.
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So really, the communication piece, how important it
Absolutely.
is both
Absolutely.
ways.
It's something that I had to learn to develop, to speak out, to share my feelings with him, and because I would not, I would like suffer in silence in a sense.
Okay.
So, and he wouldn't, he didn't know what I was thinking. So
That's
that's why as time we started to grow in the marriage, and I started to, speak out a little bit, speak up more. That's kind of where we were, because the communication for us, we had a hard time communicating.
Definitely.
We really did.
Because we both are very kind of in our own ways. We're very strong-willed,
Yes.
and so we wind up clashing on things that are sometimes very small items. We clash on them, and so we have to learn to that it can't be both ways. It has to be. You have to come to an agreement on it, and we still don't always agree on stuff.
Right.
Still don't do it.
And even like we said, we're work in progress. So we had tips in our section, but we're still working on those tips ourselves.
Correct.
Especially like the one of coming to the table and doing. Let's talk about how this week went, or let's talk about, or one of the things that we were talking about also was like a vision. Like, what's our vision for the next? It could even be for next week, next couple of years, next couple of months. But just having the time to sit down and talk about things, talk about finances, talk about, whatever it is. How did we do this week? Did we communicate well? Did we get things accomplished? Basically,
Because from the very onset, like you said, everything goes really, really smooth. But then when life comes in, that's a great way, and your confirmation, George, on that. I've heard that several times in the last, I would say 6 or 7 months, and it's so fitting, because life changes things, and it causes you to have to really, decide the things that you have to do to survive, and so that's one of the things that we. Like Joni said, we are continually trying to work on is the communication piece. It becomes easier, but some things will take you right back if you're not careful. It'll take you right back.
And it's so interesting. I'm sorry, it's so interesting because people that struggle with communication can struggle for many different reasons. Like, I know that your challenge was finding your voice. And then my challenge was having the voice not caring how it came out. So as long as I said it, then I felt free. I felt like, well, I'm communicating because I'm saying what I feel and feeling what I say. But I didn't care about how it was received until my husband said to me, look, you're going to have to make a decision. You have to decide, is it more important for you to say what you want to say, or that I receive what it is that you say? Because if you want me to receive it, then your word choice is going to have to be different. You're going to have to sprinkle sugar on some of these words. You can't be so direct. And he had to learn tone. Because if you're talking to me, I can only receive it if you're talking like we're talking right now. If it's elevated at all, then you're not talking to me anymore.
Her favorites were, who are you talking to?
I would like to know, because surely not me.
That's the same thing with him. I've told him the tone does not work with me, and I said I already had a dad. You are not my father. But I am Ed in a sense too. Like what you were saying, Maya, about just speaking out. He speaks out, and I'm like, wait a minute, are you hearing me? Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Right.
So because not deflecting. I cannot stand when you deflect. Let's handle the situation that I'm talking about right
Right.
now.
The main thing, the main
She
thing.
really likes it.
Let's keep the main thing, because
She
you
really
know
likes
what? If you don't, you're just putting bricks on top of
Yeah.
bricks, and you're
Come
not you're not solving. You're not solving anything. You're
Not
just
solving
putting another problem on top of another problem.
She likes
Let's
it.
stop it and let's handle the problem that's at hand.
Joni
Yes.
loves to have a solution. She wants.
I am. I'm
She
So
wants.
solution to all.
I am
Boy,
too.
yeah, y'all the same
Yeah,
people.
Because otherwise, why?
if we could have a problem, she wants to solve it. She wants to have a solution for that. And I said, well, okay, Joni.
Yeah, well, we'll get to it. No.
No.
I want to fix it. Another issue
Yeah, no, I
that
don't
we,
like tone either. Let's.
yeah, one of the other things that we ran into with communication that we really had to fix was interpretation. If I say this, like, we had to do reflective listening. We had to say, okay, I just said something that I didn't feel was offensive, but I could tell by your body language that it was. Can you please tell me what it was that you heard me say? And usually he will repeat back something to me that was totally different than what I said. And so I would say, well, no, what I said was this. And he'll say, well, what you meant was, wait a minute.
Okay.
Because I said what I meant and I meant what I said.
What you mean?
Me
And
too.
so even with word choice, he was like, well, when you said this word, then it means this. It doesn't. So I'll go,
Oxford
I'm
and
going to the
Webster.
dictionary. So we can look at what this word means, because you can't just change the meaning of words so you can be offended right now.
But I think I had to learn that sometimes I wanted to be offended because I want to fuss.
He loves it.
I'm competitive. Look, she looking at it. I'm competitive because at this
Yeah,
point now we're in an argument. I want to win.
And I always, she says, you want to win. I really say I don't want to win, but I'm always, my mind is spinning on something, next thing to win on. You know, that's what
Yeah,
Yes.
that is so true.
I'm not even listening to what she's
He's not,
saying.
and that's it.
I'm not
He's
listening.
That's what I tell him. You
But
know,
I'm figuring out what I'm gonna come with that offense on. You know, that's what I'm
Yes.
figuring.
You guys are so encouraging us right now.
I love it. It's the
It's
same.
like-
It's like,
and that's
we can
what
make
I'm
it
trying to say.
45 years because of what you guys are telling us right now. You guys are being a blessing. You have no idea.
You have
Really
been a blessing,
a
to,
blessing
us,
to us.
honestly.
Yes.
Like my son and you all, the different ages, we wonder sometimes, did we do, what did we do wrong? Did we do something wrong?
Nothing.
Growing, you
Right.
grow, you like my mother told me before she passed away. She's been dead now almost 4 years. She told me, she said, a lot of things are just better not said. That's what she said. And I thought about it sometimes. I said, wow, you know, or either like you said, it's the timing that you say them, or
Ooh.
when you say it.
Come on.
You know, and so I said that mother wit, boy, is awesome. And I
That
find
is
now
true.
as I get more into my relationship, more into my marriage, some things are just better not said.
Right. Or I have to know when to say
When to
something
say
to
it.
him. If he's watching a football game or a basketball game, that's not the time to have a conversation
don't
with him.
bother.
I'm with
Because
you.
your
on
mind,
that
your
one,
eyes
listen.
Don't even bother.
That is-
you're
What would you
focusing
guys say is one piece of advice that you would give to couples that want to go the distance like you're doing and have a God honoring lifelong love? Because I don't think it's okay for people to stay together. They're like, oh, you have a successful marriage because you've been married for 50 years, but you hated each other for 40 of the 50. Then it's not successful just because you stayed together.
No.
Like, you really
That's
want to
misery.
be, you want to have a lifelong love that honors God, and you hating each other does not honor him. So what would be one piece of advice that you would give to the people watching to say this is super important?
Okay, so I'm going to say this, and I'm being very honest from my perspective.
Okay.
Okay, you're not always going to like each other.
Come
Every
on.
day you
True.
wake up, you know, you're not always, there's things that you're going to go through that day or whatever. There's sometimes I'm like, I don't like you. Sometimes he
me
does,
that. He tell me
you know,
that.
and I know he doesn't like me, but we love each other. But I think that is so important for young couples,
To
young
realize.
love, to understand that it is not going to be butterflies and roses every, it's going to change. Like we always say, we're saying life is going to be life, but you got to decide whether it's worth it to stick in there. You can't just throw on the towel every time there's a little major problem, because there's always going to be something. There's always going to be the next thing.
It's life.
So I heard a young couple say that she was saying she didn't understand why people were saying marriage is hard. Marriage is a job. It's a work. It's not like what we saw growing up, the princess and Cinderella and all of that. It's not bad. It starts off like that in our heads. That's what I think a lot of times women bring to the table. I don't know what men bring, because I'm not, I've never been a man. But
they bring nightly sex in their mind. They're like, I can get it every night.
Yes.
That's it. That is it.
I would put
And
that
now
on
what's
the list,
wrong
top of
with
the
you?
list.
What's wrong with you? And that's a conversation we have not had, which is a good conversation we need to have. But honestly, yes. I don't want to be negative, but I do want people to understand this is a commitment. It's a covenant you've made. I'm not saying stay in there if it's physical or I definitely wouldn't say that. But if it's abusive physically, not physically, verbally, I don't know about staying in there.
Because it's
as
only
well.
going to escalate. In
But
most
I
cases.
do know that you just have to work at marriage, and try to find those good moments to enjoy.
That's the one thing I would say too, is you have to really enjoy as many moments as you can, however small or however large they are. And you have to constantly, pat each other on the back. You have to constantly encourage each other, and you're gonna have days that are not like a good day for you. And if it comes that, sometime maybe you have to step away for a little bit, But the bottom line is you have to constantly encourage each other and constantly, pray and keep God first in your life, because it may seem like that you're not getting through to God, but He's listening all the time, and He's protecting you and keeping you from doing making the bad decisions that you really would make and get into. So
the one other thing I wanted to say, because I had written down a note and I really wanted to say this, was that in marriage, I expect you need to find your community. If you're like I was saying, where Russell wanted to be in the house, I wanted to be in an apartment. And an apartment living for me meant there were younger married couples. We lived out in the country, so there weren't young people our age at our church. So find your community that's going to uplift you and that you can
Support
be
you.
supportive of. Find some friends, some married couple friends, or your family.
Associates.
But find your community, and I think that will support your marriage
During
and
those tough times.
encourage you.
We had a really hard time finding that in the beginning. It's really easy to find married people that are miserable, that want to complain, but we had a hard time finding couples that want to be married and want to work on it. And so that's why we even started our community, the One Vision Village, and why we have retreats and why we have getaways, just because community is so important. And when we come together, we're able to, we're not having these things just so we can pour. We glean so much from just being a part of it. And so that is so good. And now we are thankful that you are a part of our village. Like, goodness, we are so thankful for
welcome us.
Yes.
We're so thankful that you welcome us.
For being a part of this. We hope to do more of this and just being able to talk to you.
Absolutely.
And thank you for sharing with our village.
Yes.
And we have
Thank
thoroughly
you for
enjoyed
being a
it.
part.